You really have to tease apart all these things. So how do you tease this apart? How do you approach these different buckets and then go up to the top? What's at the top?
Well, you need a good functional medicine provider that can help guide you, because it's really confusing. And unless you've walked that path before, it's easy to get to glom onto one thing and then get overwhelmed. That's number one. And it happens all the time. And then number two, you can go down the path where you're kind of stuck on a whole bunch of medications that are managing issues, but then you're like, you're just trying to you're crumbling and you're just trying to hold everything up with duct tape, and it's stressful. So the first thing is you got to get the diet component under control. So we have to look at cutting out FODMAPs, maybe cutting out autoimmune foods. We have to really pre-digest and cook everything very well so we can digest it better, right? Think of cooking as pre-digestion. So kind of wrap your head, okay, cooking is pre-digestion. So a lot of people think, oh, raw is so good. Well, raw may be okay for some people that have great digestion. But if you don't have good digestion, there's a lot of fiber in there that could be hard on your gut. There could be a lot more fermentable fiber in there. Also, the fact that your just tummy has to work harder. And if you have less hydrochloric acid and less enzymes, which we know according to many studies show that SIBO patients have less acid, they're hypochlorhydric or achlorhydric, meaning low stomach acid. We know stomach acid is an important trigger to make enzymes as well. So if we have low stomach acid, we have low enzyme issues. And then of course, if we're eating when we're stressed or we're not chewing our food up well enough, we're just gonna not break those foods down. And then those foods are sitting in our guts and it's a stress to break it down. So number one is choose good foods, but number two is pre-digest them with really good cooking methods and mastication, just chewing it up well.
Yeah, when I had gut bugs, I was trying to eat salad and it was a waste of time. I was not digesting leafy greens at all. So I just gave up on eating salad. And that's why a lot of people end up going with a more meat-based diet. And I've seen so many people, there's a lot of famous YouTubers and other people who were raw vegans and they end up getting off of that because they're just like, hey, it destroyed me. I couldn't digest anything. I was malnourished.
And some people, they go to the extreme of going full carnivore, which is definitely low FODMAP too, which does great, but some don't have to go to that extreme. And some people, they actually feel worse too, because protein and fats are also hard to digest as well. So sometimes there's less anti-nutrients and there's less fiber and there's less fermentation. And that's enough to allow them to feel better and heal. Others, they can handle some of those foods. They just have to be more autoimmune or more low FODMAP, and they really have to be working on the cooking methods. And of course, the next step is going to be supplementation. So we may work on adding natural prokinetics, things to help with motility. We may add in hydrochloric acid and enzymes. We may add in anti-inflammatory support for the gut lining, whether it's DGL or in my line, we use GI Restore, which is a healing nutrients for the gut lining. You have different things as well in your line as well. But we may come up with a plan based on how the person's presenting and things that have already helped or haven't helped.